So, like I was saying, previous video. So, it's funny to me that everybody is now having morals next to the fact that now they're trying to act like they're so moral, highly moral, right? Where they was having sex with other people's girlfriends and wives. They was using their YouTube clout to get women. They sleep with women who are destitute mentally and physically. They would sleep with anybody who they feel is under them. These are the same people who talk about they got rotations. These are the same people who talk about, playing females and all this other stuff. It's like, so the men that you want to pass on to have the best morals and keep the morals intact, they can't go and have fun their own way, but you want them to have fun with the women you already passed around and destroyed. So they want cleanup men to stay here and get on their concept instead of them doing their concept, like the Snuggles. So if Snuggles was so morally sound and there's so many women out here, why you don't have a girlfriend? Same thing with the GA boys and all these other people that I don't see in certain chats no more because people got tired of their shit. Is that how can you sit here, talk all this shit, and then you be in other chats saying some other type shit? It's like, don't you think we don't remember the 2020 stuff? This is why it's highly hilarious to see your boy DJ Kuda travel and then pretty much don't want to come back to the US, from what I heard. And you got all these new cats coming in. They got a vendetta against guys. They feel like they're sitting here. They're sitting here and they not around them. I told you what this was. They use you, me, and everybody else who's different as an aphrodisiac for these women. So they feel like it's purposeful to keep us around so they can feel they have the feeling of banging these women because they're bored. They're bored of banging these women without competition. So they need competition. They need you to step in the ring so they can knock you out, even though they know that you ain't pound for pound big. You ain't even in the same weight class as them. So they want to step down and be a heavyweight, fighting you at 160. They 220, 235, and they want to beat you. They want to beat down a person that's 120 or 175. Like they really like you really gonna beat them. They know they're heavyweight champions when it comes down to this dysfunctional shit. Like I said before, I never believe anybody who tells me to go to a convention for women when they on game and SBE side. Oh, your shit is noid. It's already a void. I don't want to talk. I don't want you to say anything about that, because the kind of women you mess with, your standards is gonna wingle because a girl look a certain way. I already showed the kind of women I like. I don't need to do it again. And I already showed the women that I like, and I would not struggle to find what I like and go to hot spots when I know that 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get what you want. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be having sex with somebody else's girlfriend or wife, which I don't condone. And this never the conversation. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to make you work harder than the next guy. There isn't organic shit in the world no more. That's the reason why everybody relegated to fucking online. Because people don't want to do this bullshit anymore. And even guys like a Vermeil who smoke weed and drink and shit like that, he admitted it on a live stream with Man of Tomorrow. You don't know what these women have in their purse and stuff like that. Wait, wasn't that supposed to be a tool? So you talk about traveling men and passport going overseas. We don't want a jail record like you. I don't want to be just hanging out with a woman and she has drugs on her, and she has fucking criminal records or some shit, and that pass on to me because I want to have fun. What the fuck? So I get arrested or I get detained or something for me trying to hang out with somebody who is running around with gangsters and thugs and shit? Or they holding drugs and they doing drugs and they OD on them, they OD, and then you're a person of interest because you was the last person they saw. And a lot of people don't talk about that shit either. There was a situation that happened, I think 2 months ago, where this OnlyFans chick OD'd. And her client, one of the dudes, he was the last person who saw her. Now, these guys will tell you that dealing with these high-class women and go to Las Vegas and shit like that, it works out. Most of these chicks are on drugs. Most of these chicks are on alcohol. Most of these chicks are on some type of substance or something else. So 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get somebody who's in the right frame of mind, even if they're from this so-called upscale. They from this upscale escort service or whatever you want to call it. The shit's still wiggly. Same thing with the exposing culture. I told you about the tea culture. Nobody wants to deal with this bullshit. They already destroyed their market share. I can go over a list of women, you know, so-called P stars, who basically lost all their money because they was going after their fans, and they thought that men were disposable and men was going to keep getting cucked out or keep getting talked down to while they're sitting there gathering all their money up. And a lot of these chicks disappeared. But when people said hoes are winning, they grabbed the highest high-level women and say they winning. Amber Heard wasn't winning. Amber Heard not winning no more. She got blackballed. It turned against her. But as you see, when it came down to Johnny Depp case, he had to put his business out in order to defend himself. Now everybody in Hollywood is trying to give him jobs and get his money back and stuff. It's like, dude, the damage already been done. I don't like when people, especially the SBE side, think that they got everything under control, like the law not gonna get them. Especially Vermeil. He's taking all these shots and all this shit about sysbm. I don't want to travel for overseas. Dude, most of us don't have tattoos. We don't get high, we don't get drunk. So you mess with those scallywags. I hold people to a certain standard. Like in my personal life, if I ever, try to make friends, there will be certain things they can't ask me and certain things that I won't tell them. Why? Because I got experience that you wait a long time before you reveal personal information to certain people. Because then they'll try to turn it against you. Or if they don't like you no more, they'll say something and then some people will have your business out there. But some of these dudes, if you ask these guys, the SPE side, have you talked to 10,000? Just like how your boy Solo TV 84, before he went into exteriority, how he was bragging about being rejected and he wanted to act like he was one of the guys who got rejected. Or I'm just like you guys. And then he started talking shit and saying all this stuff about incels and I'm putting in the work. And then guess what? His channel exploded. Now he's a crypto consultant. Crypto, get into crypto. Crypto, get into crypto. You was talking all that shit years ago, and you think we forgot? Come on now. That's a lot of these dudes out here burned their bridges. That's the reason why the views are very low in some of these cases. They wanted sysbm passport to be a weapon towards the women to act right. Oh, look at these guys, they leaving, and I can do the same if you don't give me what I want. When it didn't work, then what happened? They turned against sysbm passport, like they're doing now. But it ain't gonna work. The movement is growing. your boy your boy Alpha Male Strategies, he exposed that, you know, his money is getting low now because these movements are growing. And a lot of these people want those views and the money from the hate watchers. Like I said before, I was there since the beginning of Charles Tyler when he was alive in those groups. Guess what? Y'all failed at talking all this shit about that, talking shit about people at the bottom, or talking to certain people. You failed now. SYSBM is not divestors. Like MOT said, divestors were the ones who got every guy that they wanted to get. They was dicked down by every dude. They picked all the men they wanted to pick, and they burned out their options. So a lot of them changed up their preference and said, well, I can still choose the wrong people, but all I got to do is pick a different race. This is the reason why all that shit ends badly. Remember I told you about the whole, the black chick who dated the Indian guy and didn't understand his culture was about the women working. I mean, the women do the home stuff, and the man worked 15 hours. He worked 15 hours, 16 hours, and come home with a made up home and everything else. She didn't like that situation. She tried to change somebody's culture, and it didn't work out. And the dude left her and the kid. And the mom condoned it. The dad and the mom condoned it. Like, leave her and the kid. Don't deal nothing with them. Leave them alone. And I think they did something in court where he wasn't liable. So a lot of these chicks, divestors, were just trying to do the same shit. They burned their bridges on the so-called man side. And then they turned around and thought that going to another race of men was going to save them from all the choices they made for like a hard reset. And it didn't. SYSBM is a different case because SYSBM want a culture they can operate in, want a culture that gives men the lead. SYSBM is about taking better positions, going to a better situation and culture, and you taking the steering wheel, or you handing a certain role that you will basically do at your fullest extent, at basically 100%. They're not holding you to no fucked up standard. They already did what they did with their women. The end results, they have at least 200 or 300, 400 years of dealing with their group of women and conditioning them to certain things. So while these goozers out here in Freaknik and tearing up a bunch of fucking married women and women with kids and all this other shit and all this other stuff, and they was doing this dysfunctional shit, now they slowed down. Now everybody got to be on the same shit they on. But then the men who've been working hard and never got to do any of that shit, they want to go experience their stuff, so-called sex tours and so-called mongering. Now, oh, you can't do it because it's bad, because it make us look bad. Nigga, you made us look bad for 15, 20, 30 years. Dude, the image already done. It's done. Who cares what you think? Stay out of the business and stop talking. Now it's time for us to do what we want to do for we having our freedom. And you shouldn't be saying anything because we didn't say anything. We ain't have a say in anything y'all niggas was doing for the past 30, 40 years. More than 40 years. The past 60, 70 years. Y'all was doing whatever y'all want. Making us look bad, talking about rap music, doing all this dysfunctional shit, thinking with your dicks only. And then when men say, I'm smarter than that, I'm older now, I can control my libido, and I know who I want and who I want to do it with, and you got a problem with that? You got a problem with men being smart with who they stick their stuff in and who they want to share sexual relations with, so they don't end up in situations where their shit get broken and they're going to jail, or women calling the cops on them and being on child support and all this other fighting and drama. And you want men to deal with the shit here that's showing that this shit didn't work and it's not working and still not working. All these so-called good women have not grouped up to expose who they really are and make sure they protect themselves and get with the certain men that they supposed to get with. They didn't do it, not yet. There ain't no counter to sysbm when it comes down to so-called black women. I told y'all this before, and I'll tell you this again. All the so-called good women, they are already left. They are in other countries now. They've been left. They've been locked. They've been threw away their families, threw away this culture, and went to another culture. They were sysbm. So all the good women didn't want to be a part of nobody's rotation. They didn't want to be some man's slore and some man's fuck buddy and none of this shit. Or if they wanted to be that, they wanted to be in an organic way, where it would have been a so-called fuck buddy status or sex friend status, and then they turn into a girlfriend. And some of those situations overseas, that's what it turns into. You know this person, you had fun with this person, and it turns into a whole relationship. See, one thing that these dudes don't get is the fact is that a lot of dudes who so-called sex mongo and sex mongo and go with sex workers and shit, you know half of these chicks want to get out of some of that stuff. You know half of these chicks, you know half of these dudes, and what is not being told is that all these so-called sex mongos and all this other shit, half of these dudes end up with the women that they sleep with for money, and they take them out the game. You know what? That sounds familiar. Back in the early 50s and the 40s, it was a common practice for certain men to fall in love with those prostitutes and shit and take them off the street and make them whole women. That practice been a thing ever since ever since the old days. Why? Because women, that's why the self-deletion was so high when it comes down to the P stars and the prostitutions. Why? Because a lot of these women couldn't get any type of connection with nobody, and they wasn't gassed up like they were now, where they thinking that every single time they take money from a man and every single time they get sex from a man, it gives them more power. And then eventually, when the money stops and the attention stops, this is when they go self-deletion. You know how many so-called beauty pageants and cheerleaders and actors and all this other stuff self-delete themselves? Because the shit slowed down and people started ignoring them, and they had to go in competition. Once they get into competition with other girls and other groups of women, they start to feel lonely and basically they disappear. Then they want the level of one man, and then they want the love of one dude, and the dudes are not there, so they are all alone. You know how many OnlyFans chicks I see bragging on Twitter to get guys to subscribe to their OnlyFans. Oh, I'm sorry that I said bad stuff to you guys. I was just feeling myself too much. So come back to my OnlyFans and you'll see very good surprise. And I will give you guys customs and everything else. And dudes already in the comment section said, you already said what you said. We don't fuck with you no more. We got this star. Go ahead, beg more. You better start, and even one dude said you better start selling your vagina. That's the only way, the only way you gonna be making money. They want the real experience. And she's like, okay, you know, how much you willing to give me? You know, I'm not gonna do it below 300. And I'm like, Ramil and all these other people, Ty City, y'all niggas are not watching this. Like I said, these motherfuckers are losing. They losing money because inflation is killing their business. Like I said before, there's like one guy who have a lot of money who's supporting like 10, 15 women that they subscribe to OnlyFans. Right now, I got 3 subscription services right now going on that I can show you and prove, or I can prove to you basically that one man can pretty much subscribe to multiple women because the OnlyFans shit is not that expensive. The bulk of number, when it comes down to the group of men who out there, these chicks need 100 guys. No, I could say 500 guys for the set price of $10, $20 to give them more money. And one guy can equal 10 women or 20 women if he makes a lot of money. Right now, I can say, what is it? I got PlayStation Platinum. I gotta renew that tomorrow. That'll be $60. My subscription service for Amazon is $15. And my Stardom World is $9. Add all that up, that's like 100, 200 something. And if I add more subscription service to me, that'd be like 200 something. Some a month, because I'm doing it monthly on Amazon, and I'm doing monthly on Stardom World. So I just proved to you basically you can subscribe to multiple people without saying there's a whole bunch of so-called simps and hoes are winning and all this other shit. It's like, dude, you inflating this shit because you want to sit here and be right and be calling other niggas losers and all this other stuff. Stop explaining. Dude, like I said, I'm not going to do what you do. I'm not going to tolerate none of this shit. I'm not going to have somebody put me in danger. I'm not going to sit there and deal with drama. And I'm not going to sit here and deal with somebody with alcohol breath. And I'm not going to deal with somebody who smoke weed. Oh, you just not going to get no... And there it goes. When I put standards... Ask these stupid ass dudes about... Put your standards out there and see what these dudes going to say. And if they say some shit like, oh, you can't find that. Okay, I'm going overseas then. If you say I can't find that here and I need to lower my standards, okay, dude, you just proved the point that why the passport is growing. Because if I got a standard out there and it can't be met in any of these cities the way I want it, and I go somewhere else and I get it just like that, well, why would I listen to you? Now, your boy Vermeil is turning against game culture, but he's cool with ARC, the most felonious dude out here with the high-pitched voice, and a bunch of old-ass stories from the 1960s, or for the 1900s. Come on now. Like I said before, man, these guys are coming, and they subsection of people. I'm just gonna chill back. I got a whole bunch of shit. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm almost up to 2022 on my Stardom World. I watched like almost from 2011 to 2021 of matches. In between me being busy, working, and what's it called? Once I'm finished with that, I'm gonna be watching Better Call Saul because the last episode is on Friday. Waiting for The Walking Dead and watch that. Watch all the Walking Dead and see how they put it together and everything else. Like I said, I kept myself busy. Like I said I was gonna do. And like I said, my head isn't in it. And going back and forth with these people, it's like me fighting the same level boss, but it's a different design NPC. At some point you get sick of it and you be like, man, I'm not doing this anymore, man. I'm not playing this game. This is the same level boss, just with a different design, different NPC. I don't need to do this, man. I let everybody do that, man. I let everybody else make videos and do all that, man. Because like I said, my greatest points was in 2020. You know, people still catching up to some of my 2020 stuff, and I don't really need to like put out anything out there. But I'm just trying to iterate like what these people are just doing again, because they always come around when they need somebody to make them feel good. This going against traveling is trying, like I said before in other videos, it's trying to make us, it's trying to paint us, it's trying to pin us in one place so we can go to them. And it's trying to pin us in one place so they can rule over us in some kind of weird way and think that they can tell us what to do. AMS, Danica Marie, Melanie King, they need people they can talk down to. Watch that video of that guy, that fake 50-year-old virgin, who on his channel was not a virgin. He was married before, and he blatantly trolled the shit out of Melanie King and see what she would say to him. And she pretty much said the obvious shit that everybody else said about her. I never watched her, never cared for her, and I knew she was fake from the start. I seen a couple videos of her saying how much surgery she got, and how she just got a whole bunch of surgeries to make herself look that way. So, like I said, man, this dude right here, these a new batch of people coming at the passport guys. You know, everybody else got exposed. Minister Jack, I'm a better than you guy. You know, made himself look stupid when he going on Fresh and Fit. And a lot of these people, they're trying to get on Fresh and Fit to get views and everything else. And this dude is a clout chaser, because he's trying to, I seen him in some chats. I mean, I seen him in some comment sections trying to get people to go to his channel. He been trying hard as shit to try to get people to go to his channel. And like I said, this dude needs hate watchers. It's the same shit that what's his name did. It's the same stuff that your boy O'Shea did. Same thing with Bernard Riley did. Everybody does the same shit. They talk about a group of guys, and they congregate a whole bunch of people around them that think the same, and they keep views like that. That's what SBE is. It's everybody else who had that hood-like mentality, that hood shit going on, who think game and swag and all this other shit, and dealing with fucking women who smoke and drink and listen to stupid-ass rap music. You supposed to all deal with them. My standards are my standards. I don't give a fuck. I won't break from my standards. I don't give a fuck if it means that I never sleep with nobody ever again. Guess what? I'm going to deal with who the fuck I want to deal with. You know why? Because I know the consequences of dealing with people and knocking your standards down and getting anything and everything. Because guess what? When you duck your own standards and you don't get what you want, and you get something that you just have to have, you're the one going to have to deal with the standards, not them. I'd rather get what I want in terms of what I want, and I want to do it my way, because it's the least path of resistance, and I know how to put it together. I'm not dealing with no bullshit and none of this other stuff. But man, I'm almost here. You know, for the people who say I'm not out, I go outside. As you see, you hear cars, you hear music, you know, all that shit. That's the whole point. Most people go the fuck outside. Most people go out, get stuff and everything else. Most people don't go outside and go places because they don't trust people, or they ain't burnt through friends. They got burnt too many times when it comes to people, and they know people's bullshit. My ears perk up when the wrong people are around me. And most people out here now are the wrong people. So why I put myself through that? If you ask Man of Tomorrow, he made a statement on one of his videos, a lot of his videos, and he said when he see men traveling by themselves, these dudes said that's the best feeling in the world, to be by themselves and meet up with people who just like them, and they spend time not with their families but with the people who actually think like them. So these dudes trying to relegate you to all this dumb shit that they basically put themselves through. Ugh. Okay, man, I'm almost here. So Yeah, I'm gonna post these 2 videos. Hopefully they don't get striked or whatever, because because I still got people talking crap or whatever from my what you call video. What's that video? Quantum TV video. I hope they're not lurking around. Hope they're going.